So, Madhuji, you want to chant 11 to 15
Yeah.
and do the whole,
Oh.
starting thing also. Yeah.
Om सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः अक्षरब्रह्मयोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यत्तयो वीतरागाः यदिच्छन्तु ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुध्य च मूढ्याधायात्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणाम् आमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्मा व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहं स याति परमां गतिम् अनन्यचेता सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतम् नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः.
Right. All right. So you will see, in this one, you saw two different meters, the 9th through 11th is a different meter, and then the rest of the chapter is different meter, I say the main meter for Bhagwad Gita is called uh, uh, क्या कहते हैं
अनुष्टुप
उसको?
छंद.
Thank you. Certain words just don't come to me easily. Anushtup Chand. So, anyways, so let's start with this one. See, we are talking about Akshar Brahma Yoga, right? That's the name of the chapter. Here it starts with Yad Aksharam Veda Vido Vadanti. So, Veda Vido means those who are exponents of Vedas or those who are well versed with the Vedas, they speak. Vadanti means they speak about that Akshar, about that truth, about that, we talked about Brahma as Akshar, in the earlier, uh, uh, क्योंकि जो क्वेश्चन पूछा था किम तद ब्रह्म किम अध्यात्म तो उसने कहा था अक्षरम ब्रह्म परमम. That's how it all started, that Brahma is pointed at as Akshara, that which is undestructible. So yad aksharam ved vido vadanti, but here in the last line it says tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. The sangrahena means in brief, in concise terms, I will explain it to you. I am going to, pravakshe means I am going to tell you about it. Tat padam, that tatte padam means about that tat pada. Tat, when we do this uh, in Chinmaya mission also, in other places also, the Guru Upasana, we say Tat Padam Darshitam Yena, Tat Padam, that the one who has shown me that the truth, Tat Pada. Uh, we will discuss that in the next verse also, so I'm not going to take too much time. Basically, it means the reality, thatness, the truth we are going to discuss. So that I am going to talk about Tatpadam, or the indicator. In Kathopanishad, it's used in multiple places also. So this is actually a verse which is there in Kathopanishad. A little variation of it, but it is the same verse exactly. So actually, they say that Bhagwad Gita was totally inspired by Kathopanishad. Just letting you know. There are a lot of verses which are just taken from Kathopanishad as is. So, who is this Ved Vida? Who is this people who are well versed with Vedas? That means who understand the truth very clearly, to them. Uh, they attain yat vishanti, means vishanti means they attain that yadyatayo vitaraga, those who have gone beyond their vitaraga. Vitaraga we have talked about, the likes and dislikes. See, the key, if we want to understand of Bhagavad Gita, that what I have understood is our problem is vitaraga. All our likes and dislikes is what keeps us bound in this earth, on this uh, in this samsar. So संसार से मुक्ति एक ही तरीका है, that you have to go beyond the raga. When we say raga, it also includes dvesha also. Vita raga means beyond the raga and dvesha. So those who have gone beyond vita raga, Veet means going beyond. So that is that means they are free from any bondage. This is what causes the bondage, the raga. इसीलिए कहते हैं जो राग है उसका ऑपोजिट इज नॉट द्वेष, राग का ऑपोजिट इज वैराग. So vairagya is the opposite of raga, not dvesh. Dvesh and raga are one and the same thing. आप किसी से you don't like something or you like something, they fall in the same category. It basically takes away your mind. That's the problem. So who understand that, what do they understand? The truth is nirvishesha. Nirvishesha means that which cannot be qualified. See, Vishesh हम usually बोलते हैं special in Hindi. So sometimes it may look like Nirvishesh means it is not special. No, that's not what it means. Nirvishesh means that cannot be qualified. That's what Nirvishesh means. So that means which is beyond both subtle and gross. See, most of our knowledge, actually देखा जाए, all our knowledge is in the form of subtle or gross, about things that are gross or things that are subtle. Even the thoughts, the emotion, all these things are subtle. They are there. They can be qualified. I love you a lot. That love is a qualified term. So going beyond that, both subtle and gross. So this is what the great seekers are talking about. So they are brahmacharyam charanti. Brahmacharyam is, we can normally translate it as celibacy, but it also means the one who are ready for austerity. They are ready to give up things that may seem important to others. बड़े आराम से they can go beyond. एक बारी I heard some Swamiji was talking about, कहते if you can postpone something, that is also brahmacharya. अगर कोई चीज पसंद आई जैसे अच्छा ठीक है इसको कल देखेंगे, that in the if you are able to get that thought out of your mind in that moment, you are practicing brahmacharya, you know instead of saying कि मैं उसको छूंगा भी नहीं, मैं उसको instead of saying कि अच्छा, कल देखेंगे इसके बारे में, or I'll if I am able to postpone it, and that way you have to trick our we have to trick our mind sometimes, because mind is very demanding, it's very persistent कि नहीं अभी चाहिए, चाय अभी चाहिए, I want to have this now, if that we are able to say कि नहीं नहीं मिली तो भी अच्छा है, लेकिन let's postpone it for some more time. So uh, anyway, that was the thought I was because it says this all things come in due course of time. It is not something that just happens. So that is the thing that we are talking about. So then the question is how is it going to happen? The next verse is, how do you practice brahmacharya, how do you practice all these things? तो उसके लिए भगवान says, okay, you know what, स्वर सर्व द्वाराणि संयम्य, सर्व द्वाराण और मनो हृदय निरुध्य च. Let's see what it means. So how to practice this sadhana? This is like a 12th verse is about how to practice this sadhana to get to that 11th verse. So it says close all doors. सर्व द्वाराणि संयम्य. ये कौन से द्वार है? ये लिखा है इसके अंदर. कहते हैं that's where all the traffic is coming from. What kind of traffic? All our raga dvesha, all our the samsar is traveling through those doors, which is we read that in 6th chapter. The human is described as navadware puri deha. The navadware means this body is made up of 9 gates which allow things to come in, so gateway, जैसे हमारा रूम होता है, रूम में विंडोज होती हैं, so that's where all the sound or the light comes in. So जो ये द्वार है हमारे सेंसेस, they are called the mindos. The mind की they are the windows to our mind, that's where we get all the information. So if they are open, then open doesn't mean that we have to close them, it means we stop giving them too much importance. so so these dwar, these gates, sarv dwarani sanyamya, those who have to be closed, or mano hridi niruddhya cha. Nirodha word is used in the योग सूत्र है उनका पहला ही है. What is yoga? Chitta vritti nirodha. Nirodha means to cessation. So how do you stop that? Is by putting the mind in hridi. Now hridi word is a very interesting one because they are not talking about the heart, physical heart. They are talking about the seat of consciousness. That means your mind should rest in consciousness. That means the mind has to focus on that instead of uh, focus on the world outside. So we are talking going inward. That's what it means. ये साधना की technique है, So the first you have to close the the dwara, the gates through which all the information is flowing. These are also meditation technique in a way, So so basically it's a restraint. You put a restraint yourself on what? So the senses are जो through an example I can explain. जैसे the senses are like monkeys, they will swing from place to place. They have no control. In Ramcharitmanas, if you think about it, Sugriv was the commander in chief of the monkeys. Now, a commander in chief of senses is mind. Now, if the mind um is controlling the senses, and the the mind is resting in Hridi, who was Sugriv reporting to? Bhagwan, Bhagwan Ram. So Ram, when he surrendered to Ram, everything was streamlined. There was absolutely no problem. Till that time, he was not surrendered to Bhagwan. He was most restless soul, Sugriv. So mind is like Sugriv. So एक उसमें भी है ना, हृदयेश चिंता रहितो हृदाख्या. In that means you have uh, to put it very in a simple word, कि you put all your thoughts. Chinta is not worry, any thoughts, hridayesh chinta rahito hridakya. You put it in that conscious. That means your mind should be focused on that instead of the what is coming in. We are so engaged in the world that we don't even think about it. Bhagwan is just saying, okay, sadhana technique is this. You first control your senses through mind and rest your mind in the heart. Heart is the seat of consciousness. They say here, somewhere in the middle. You know, uh, because then now the other one, the second phase is about, if suppose I am not going by the vichar technique. So there is two techniques, vichar technique and yoga technique. So yoga is more technical. The murdhanya is the how you control your pranas. Now, I'm not an expert on those things, but there is practices in yoga where just say, they say, okay, you have to streamline your chakras. The from Mooladhara to uh, Sahasradhara. The whole, if your things are streamlined, that is a practice. That is a yoga technique to control yourself, to basically surrender to the higher level, to Ishvara, basically. So uske liye we have different. Bhagwan is just giving. He is not going into too much detail, but knowing the student and the teacher, that means there was a techniques that were practiced at that time. So Bhagwan is saying, okay, that is another way you can do that. So, but it is not. You have to go through a proper yoga teacher for that. The one who can talk about the the eightfold path of yoga: yam, niyam, asana. What is it? Pranayam, pratihar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. These are the 8 steps uh, to get to that samadhi, the final state of uh, total samadhi, is where आपका all the external senses are not available to you. You are totally merged with your own self. That is samadhi. So these are another technique Bhagwan is saying. But first 2 lines is talking about the how do you control your senses. So sense to mind, mind has to rest in consciousness. So that's the क्योंकि in our till now what we have done till 6th chapter, we said, okay, 2-step process. The first step is chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi is usually attained through karma yoga. That means giving importance to others more than myself. You know, let my resources, whether it is body, senses, whatever it is to be used for the benefit of others. You know, I don't come into that picture. So through that process, the the mind and the body become more prepared, and this simultaneously we have to go through uh, the Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. So that is the process. You know that you that's what the focus has been so far. But Bhagwan is saying hey, there is an alternate of yoga also, which is going to reach the same goal, but there is a technique. So you use your but Bhagwan now goes back to the Akshara, you know. Because the goal is to understand that, not understand, but to understand that I am that Akshara. It's not understanding, it is becoming aware of it. So here it says, Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. That now this is exactly from Kathopanishad. This is also from Mandukya Upanishad. The same thing has been talked about. So I want to spend a little time on that. The one sound Om is the key. Because see क्या होता है कि when you are in meditation is not something you sit down and close your eyes. Meditation is transcending the mind, and to transcend the mind you have to use some support. जैसे हम पोल वॉल्ट का एग्जांपल लिया था, you know. So what is that support that will help us transcend the mind? Bhagavan is saying use that Om, Om iti. That Om you should use Ek Aksharam Brahman. That Akshar is actually pointing to the Brahman only. How? We'll talk about that. Vyavhar man anusmaran. Yah prayati tajan deham. Yah sayati paramam gatim. So now the question asked was, what happens at the time of death, right? जो योगी हैं, what are they thinking? What is their mindset? So when they sa yati, when they go paramam gatim, to go to that final destination, which is your own self basically. So yah prayati means जा रहे हैं, tyajan deham, by dropping this physical body. Now let me explain Om a little bit. Om में there are actually four things that we have to understand. The sound is made up of three, which is a, u, ma, right? Together it becomes Om. But when you chant Om multiple times, there is something between two Oms, which is the support of that Om, which is the amatra. Amatra means silence. So the silence is very much part of that Om. So Bhagavan says the O, the A sound is representing Virat, which is the whole gross world. Everything that you can experience in this universe is A. U is the what we can experience in, or we can say it is the Hiranyagarbha. If we explain Virat or explain the totality, you know, Samashti, we say the gross is the Virat, the mind, the gross mind is Hiranyagarbha. So the U is Hiranyagarbha, and sound, the you know, is the total intellect. Actually, they are not three separate. The Ishwar alone is Ishwar se Hiranyagarbh se Virat. So if they have to merge back, you know, we talked about that merge your senses and mind in the consciousness. Same way here we are talking about that merge the u ma. They are, we are talking about it as three different things. You know, the Virat, which is the gross world, the the U, the subtle world, and is the total intellect. This is also part of subtle also, but this is the Karan, the the cause of the other two. But the silence is the Chatushpad, that is called the fourth quarter. So, so it is made up of four quarters. So U, Ma, and the silence. So one way is that you just chant Om, you know. So Om physically we chant. That's one way to uh, you know, focus on that Om, Akshara Brahma. The other is to focus on the silence when you are chanting Om, Om. You have to increase that silence. It is also a meditation technique. So increasing the, first you chant, focus on the sound, then slowly start focusing on the silence, you know. And the third way is to focus on the meaning of that Om, which is the consciousness alone, you know. So understand that the Paramatma is that which is beyond everything, you know. So anyway, when we say Chatushpad, okay, let me just bring one more point. So they are not four separate things. So let's say U, Ma, they are three paths. In our normal life, we say the waking world is the dream world, which is just created by mind only. There is nothing other than mind in dream, right? So that is U, and sound is the when absence of both waking and dream, right? So that is ma sound. The Chatushpad, the fourth one, is the जिसको हम another word for that is turiya. It is not a fourth state. So remember, states are only three, but that turiya is supporting the three. Just a example, you know, I think I have given this example before, but think of Amitabh Bachchan, favorite character hai. So Amitabh Bachchan playing Jay in Sholay, or Vijay in Janjeer, or Shahenshah in the movie, right? So now, is there anything common between the three? Between Jay, Vijay, and Shahenshah? Nothing. The only thing common is Amitabh Bachchan, you know, that he is playing those three roles. Understand? So there is no relationship between Jay and Vijay, and Amitabh Bachchan is neither Jay nor Vijay nor Shahenshah, but playing these three roles. So ऐसे ही Atma alone is playing all the roles, the waker, the dreamer, and the deep sleeper, but it has really nothing to do with any of them. But without Amitabh Bachchan, Jay, Vijay, and Viru doesn't exist. Understand? So same way, without Atma, the waker, the dreamer, and the deep sleeper don't exist. See, इसके ऊपर थोड़ा विचार करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि I am giving you the synopsis of the Mandukya Upanishad, and also it is same thing explained in Kathopanishad also. So next time when we do a Upanishad, we will go much deeper into that. Mam Anusmaran. That means you remember that. You remember Mam. Who? Who is that fourth path? Me. I am that fourth path. I am means Bhagwan. You know, so Paramatma says, so you remember me. through Om. So Om is the question was, what is the person thinking? That yogi, the Nitya Yukta person, is thinking at the time of departure. कहते he is thinking of me, but supported by that Om. Okay, so when you chant Om, you are actually chanting Brahma only. That the Paramatma, the कहते who is that Brahma? कहता है tat Brahma aham asmi. I am that Om. Om is not a word. Om is not a, Om is a pointer to that truth. And what is that truth? Me. I am that truth. Actually, that I am, Bhagwan is saying, but it's applicable to any of us. But we don't recognize it. So that is called the Akshar or Om Dhyan. What to do in the Dhyan when we are trying to. So ये भी एक, it is a, what do you call it? A technique, that we have to understand. So he reaches the supreme abode. Sayati paramam gatem. When that is, but this is not something that comes easily. You have to practice it. So abhyas is the key. Abhyas is the way to do that. So, and in next couple of verses, we will see why Bhagwan will focus on that. So Arjun ne kaha, sir, very difficult, because it looked like Krishna was observing the facial expressions of Arjuna, and he understood कि ये थोड़ा जरा ज्यादा हो गया, भगवान, which is थोड़ा, it is difficult, how to, कहता है I can read you like an open book. भगवान ने कहा अर्जुन को, कहा नहीं मतलब, but this was in his mind. कहते हैं all these things, when we talk about sitting in a posture, remembering Om iti etat Brahma, Om alone is that Brahma, or bringing your pranas to the, so they थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो रहा है. कहते थोड़ा simpler कुछ है, जैसे we are talking, the Gyan Marg is the the path of vichar. Vichar means that you start questioning everything, why me, why this world, why this, who is controlling everything. Dhire dhire start to question everything, so uh, so now Bhagwan says, okay, और क्या कर सकते हैं, so it continues with ananya chetaha satatam yo mam smriti nivashyaya. Okay, ananya chetaha. Ananya means not anya. That means don't run after things, anya. कि ये भी कर ले, वो भी कर ले, वो भी कर ले. जैसे मतलब I shouldn't be saying it, श्रद्धा का विषय है. But normally in the olden times, temple used to have only one idol. जिसका मंदिर है बस उन्हीं की पूजा होती थी गोपुरम में. एक one idol. It was not like you are distracted with कि ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है. पहले हनुमान जी भी हैं, शिव जी भी हैं, दुर्गा भी है. पॉइंट इज मन में अगर एक को धारा हुआ है, अनन्य. अनन्य मीन्स नो अदर देन दैट वन that I am going to focus on, satatam. So ananya means no other, just that one. That's the important. So, or you can say that I should not allow my mind to go in any other direction. One single goal. That's it, and there is nothing other than that Paramatma. That mindset has to be there. And the next to that is that Paramatma is no other than me. let's just go with the first 2-3 steps, that stop focusing on many things, just focus on one, जो भी आपके इष्ट हैं. That's why the concept of इष्ट is there. इष्ट is not a specific God. It is that same God manifested. अगर हमको we cannot understand anything without Nama Rupa, then Bhagwan says, okay, put a Nama Rupa for me. You want to see me as Shiva, then see me as Shiva only. Don't, because there is no difference, because same Paramatma is pervading everything. So that's the important thing. Ananya Chetaha Satatam. Uh, so Nitya, the last line, Nitya Yukasya Yogina, to who is always, this is for who? The Nitya Yukta. Nitya Yukta means who is always, Yukta word we have translated as integrated, but also it means the one whose mind doesn't waver. This is it. So that yoginaha, tasyaham sulabha partha. I am so easy to him. Sulabh. The word sulabh is very interesting because question is, he was looking for an easy answer. So Bhagwan says, yes, I am very easy. I am available, totally available to, but tasyaham sulabha partha. That to who are tasyaham, to who I am, those who are yo mam smriti nityashah. That means who are remembering me all the time. For them, I am very easy. जैसे but anyways, but in other text that we read, उसके अंदर वो कहते हैं ये तो बड़ा difficult path है. जैसे in Kathopanishad also, when Nachiketa is being taught about this, so they say that Shurasya Dhara Nishita Duratyaya. That means it is like a walking on a razor's edge. You are walking on razor's edge. It is very difficult to cross. एक तरफ ये है और भगवान कह रहे हैं नहीं, इट इज सुलभ. सो कहता है ये कपिर है ना, कहता है दुर्गम कवयो वदंती, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट, दीज ऋषिज आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इट. सो भगवान कहते हैं यस, दैट इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट एंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट. कहते हैं हैव यू सीन जो टाइट रोप वॉक करते हैं, दे आर ऑन ए टाइट रोप एंड दे आर वॉकिंग. For them, they may have, छोटी छोटी लड़कियां, पहले जमाने में they used to do that on streets, कि उन्होंने वहां पे वो 2 खंबे लगा दिए और उसके ऊपर एक बड़ी टाइट वॉल और उसके ऊपर वो लड़की चलती है. Now this girl is also trying to show कि रस्सी भी हिलती होगी उसके ऊपर, she would be carrying some pots on her head. So with all these distractions, she just crosses sulabha, because it's a practice. They have done it. They have done it over and over again. So they are not wavering at all. So for for her, it is very easy. For a person like me, it will be very difficult. Because my whole focus will be that I am going to fall. And then कहते हैं मेरी भविष्यवाणी वो हो जाएगी सत्य. what you think is what you become. So जैसे if suppose somebody is drunk driver, then for him even the road, driving on a full highway road, is also very difficult क्योंकि his senses are not in control. So Krishna says, I am Sulabh, to who? The Ananya Cheta Satatam. That means that, and Yo Mam Smriti Nityashaha, to those who remember me always. Nityashaha. That means who always remember me. Ananya Chetaha. That means they are not distracted by others. They are not distracted in any other way. So, because Shankar Bhashya says that this 2 words, Satatam and Nityashaha, because they look very similar. He says that means that you have to continuously practice, and then for how long? Nityashaha, all the time. It is not like you can do it just one time. कहते हैं जैसे how do I do that? कहते हैं when you wake up, spend a little time. प्रातः स्मराणि. Remember भगवान. ये सब आप ही की वजह से है, And then after bath, do a little puja. छोटी सी, maybe 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Even when you are working, मन में भगवान का ध्यान रखना है कि मैं, this I am doing because of you. That mind has to know, mind has to be aware of it. It's not like ये माला लेके जपते रहना है. That's not Bhagwan is saying. Bhagwan is saying, be aware of me, that I am the presence in your life, you know. So even when we are doing some satsang, the focus has to be there. Then only it becomes effective. So when you are thinking of some, work related stuff, then focus on that. Bhagwan, that is not the point. Point is, even when you are doing mechanical, then you can do your chanting. You can do chanting on, while washing dishes, or while gardening, or while cleaning or cooking, or all those things which are normally very mechanical. That mind can get absorbed in that, नहीं तो कुछ कुछ ख्याल आते रहेंगे. Mind का क्या, mind is always, it knows how to keep you busy, so that remembering the power of Chaitanya is important here, uh, because Chaitanya is present in every cell of our body. It is only functioning because of Chaitanya, right? We understand, right? Whether it is our mind, it is our bodily functions, it is the cellular functions, whatever way we want to understand it, or the outside world, it is happening because of Chaitanyata. The moment the that spark is gone, that Chaitanya Tattva is not available. Chaitanya Tattva is available all the time, but it gets reflected through the mind. So once that Chaitanya Tattva is not available, the mind itself withdraws. When mind withdraws, the whole world is lifeless, right? So that means at that point, hearing is not possible, seeing is not possible, smelling is not possible. All the functionality is gone, you know. So that is only possible because of Chaitanya Tattva. Tattva, So be aware of that. That's all. Bhagavan is not saying do something about it. Just be aware of it, you know. Uh, because even if we are thinking about anything, say we are thinking about our family, or we are thinking of a job, we are thinking of some project, Chaitanya Tattva is the key that allows us to do that. It is the electricity in us which is making us run this whole machinery, So, uh, let me, जैसे suppose करो employees there for a company. He is working as a sales representative. So he goes and tries to sell his products and all that. He's at that point, he is constantly aware that I am working for the company. This is all for the company, So he is not for a second aware कि ये मेरा काम है. मेरा काम तो है. I am working on it, but ultimately I belong to that company, which is, it's a simple example, but just to convey the point across, that how to remember Bhagwan in every action that we do. That's the whole point. कि उनके बिना कुछ होता नहीं है. That kind of a thought process has to be there. And I think when we did with Sukhmani Saab, this came like 100 times in that. this particular thought कि बिना हुक्म रजाई चलना, everything happens because of that alone. So जैसे example is when उद्धव जी went to the gopis, तो उनको कहा कि तुम he wanted to teach them some technique, the meditation technique, and says ओम के ऊपर फोकस करो. तो गोपी बैठ गई सब ध्यान लगाने. तो एक जो गोपी जो थी बड़ा सर पटक रही थी. उसने पूछा कि क्या बात है, कि व्हाट इज इट वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू डू दैट. कहता है अभी तो ओम की तरफ तो ध्यान ही दे रहे हैं, कृष्ण तो दिमाग से निकले, कृष्ण तो मेरे हृदय में ऐसे बसे हुए हैं. आई एम ट्राइंग टू गेट रिड ऑफ हिम एंड आई एम नॉट एबल टू डू दैट. तो उद्धव ने कहा आपने ऑलरेडी अचीव्ड व्हाट यू हैव टू अचीव. डोंट वरी अबाउट दिस ओम थिंग. यू कृष्ण इज ओम, दैट्स इट. तो जैसे इन क्लासिकल म्यूजिक पीछे एक तानपुरा बजता रहता है, राइट. Now Tanpura is constantly there, but it is not the focus of the concert, right? That is the focus where the sur has to be in alignment with that, right? Tanpura की वो alignment के लिए होता है. So constantly the singer is aware कि मेरे को सुर इसके साथ align करने हैं, you know. तो वैसे ही ओम है. Om is always there. We have to just align ourselves with that. That's the point here. कहते जो भरत जी थे उनका कंटिन्यूअसली काम चलता रहता था. ही वॉज द बिजिएस्ट मैन, रनिंग द होल अयोध्या. ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ पीपल वर कमिंग, प्रॉब्लम्स, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, मैनेजिंग थिंग्स, एवरीथिंग वाज गोइंग ऑन. बट उनके मन में राम राम कांस्टेंट चलता रहता था. कहते हैं व्हेन ही सेड राम, even the jad vastu became chaitanya. That was the power of that the naam itself. So it's a uninterrupted continuous thought कि भगवान का स्मरण रहना है. जैसे वो है ना, आई कांट सिंग दैट, पंडित जसराज, नॉट पंडित जसराज, भीमसेन जोशी का. जो जपे हरि को सदा, सो ही परम पद पावेगा, सो ही परम पद पावेगा. Anyways, so I think I should wrap it up. But same way we have these bhaktas like Valmiki ji. When he started chanting Ram, it was a continuous thing. इतना था कि the word Valmiki is the ant hill. So he was covered with that ant hill. For so long he was just meditating on that. So anyway, then there are Shabri ji. राम राम का उनको बता दिया था कि राम आएंगे यहाँ पे. That's it. That she didn't know how he looked, how he walked, how he talked. कुछ मालूम नहीं था, बस राम आएंगे. तो राम नाम का ही सब कुछ. She kept the whole place very clean and neat and prepared for Bhagwan कि any time he will be coming. So spent her lifetime just doing that. But anyways, so this Smaran has to become effortless in our life, you know. So anyways, जैसे उसमें है सूरदास जी का कि ऊधो मन नाही 10-20. कहते उन्होंने कहा कि तुम अपना ध्यान कहीं और लगाओ. तो उसने कहा हमारे मन अगर 10-15 होते तो हम लगा देते कहीं पे. मन तो एक ही है, वो तो कृष्ण भगवान ने ले लिया. तो अब हमारे पास तो कुछ और अवेलेबल ही नहीं है. तो जैसे इवन द भजन दैट दीपक जी वाज सिंगिंग, and also there is one other, Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. That's another beautiful one. So now Arjuna is asking, okay, you are Sulabh, I got it. So what do I do about it? How do I get to it? So question is, that at the time of departure, how do the great seekers, you know, get you, or how do you keep keep that in their mind, you know? ये अब we'll discuss in the 15th verse, but we can stop now. And any thoughts, questions? See, slowly you will see that whole gyan is moving towards bhakti, you know, and this will continue that trek. You will see the transition happening from gyan to bhakti, but without gyan, bhakti is also very difficult. भक्ति करने के लिए you have to understand कि भक्ति कर किसकी रहे हो, you know. So anyways, let me just stop here.